Hey guys, fourth time's the charm. Had some glitches today, but we're here to analyze a chess game, which is going to be great. We are looking at 12 to 1400. Before you do, I was going to tell you a story about how I actually was winning a game, one move from checkmate, and then kicked the power out of my PC, shutting it down. So that sucks. If that's ever happened to you, let me know in the comments. Fortunately, I was able to log on to my phone, make my one move, and then figure out the issue. But yeah, so let's have a look here at what our game is. Yeah, so 1313 versus 1358. We have an e4, e5 game, very classic. Okay, this is a Vienna styled game. You can tell because that knight is there. That's what makes it a Vienna. Okay, so going ahead, I don't know if black is just going opposite of whatever white does at that point. I mean, it's not the worst. Hampers the queen a little bit, but yeah. Oftentimes you want to see knights behind pawns like this. Yes, so this is I think this is the Vienna Gambit actually. Okay, not accepted. Interesting. Okay, so what are we looking at the tension here? Both of these are defended by a knight, so if captures, then captures. Black is fine. If captures, then captures. Black is winning. If this, then you could see this, which would just be wonkadoo, like the pawns are just trading places. Okay, let's see. Yep. Okay. I mean, at this point, black just, first of all, let's turn that off. Boop. Yeah, so computers naturally just want to go ahead with development. I mean, I don't always want to be that guy that proposes that you trade pieces, but if you can weaken sometimes their pawn structure, it could be worth it. Kind of plays out like a scotch then. You could also just go ahead and pin the piece if you wanted, get some more things developed. This is a fine move, aiming to castle and get out of the way of this inevitable pin. Because the issue is if you got the queen coming out and you have to eventually say move your knight, then when the pawns start to push or threaten anything, it can move with check. Okay. Yep. Okay, pin's not bad. Okay. So you have an option here. You can do this, which will win you a tempo. A tempo being win you a move to now have your own attack. Or you can do this, and you may have to deal with an exchange or just a pinned knight. Okay, win the tempo. Is there a way to trap this bishop? Whenever they go off on the side, that's the first thing you should always look at. They always need two moves in order to escape, so sometimes, let's see. If you did something like this, then you could trap the bishop. Yeah. So with this move, so what I'm looking at is you could do this, and say they do something random, they're like, I need to castle. Then you can do whoop, trapped. Kind of a classic trap. Anyway, okay, yep, developing the bishop's a very good just principled play. You're preventing the king from castling. You cannot castle through check or directly into check in this case. You're also putting pressure down with a knight, threatening rook and queen. Good thoughts. At this point, as white, it might be wise to start dealing with the threat. Like, this is a very nicely placed knight. Should have been maybe kicked out a little bit earlier. But in this case, you may have to trade and just deal with the fallout. And maybe do something like this. En passant, capture, push. Something along those lines. Okay. Yeah, that works. I mean, you're preventing them from taking here. You are going to have to deal with this soon. Okay. So, oftentimes, I'm going to suggest for black, you don't need to take this. Wait until you're prompted, unless you have a very specifically good reason. Like, I mean, if you're doing this to remove a defender, it's still got the queen on it, and it's going to have time to take your pawn before anything anyway. I mean, fair enough. This move here, you can recapture and threaten the bishop and grab it back. Ooh, yeah. So white, I would have captured this way, because you're asking the knight a question, like, what are you gonna do? Force it to move out, say to here, then capture the bishop. So, and it can't take this pawn because it's still hanging. And it just has basically there to, well, and even that, capture it with the bishop if you want. Yeah, and then just worry about getting your bishop out, maybe use it to protect that pawn, castle long, put some pressure down the middle, you'll be golden. Okay, but instead we have capturing the wrong way, which blunders the pawn. Now black has two centralized pieces, threatening a lot of damage everywhere. Yeah, this is just bad news for white. Okay, so we do finally have that capture because they realize the pressure's getting too bold for them. So after this capture, we're releasing black's queen, but hopefully some of the tension will be removed. At this point, just do this, do this, do that. Like, do what you go, oh, whoa, no, I'm an idiot. Obviously your queen is threatened, deal with that. Yeah, that's another problem with taking your queen out too early. So that's something you should be calculating back here, is that if you do this, your queen's gonna have to move again. So you've lost a couple of tempo. Okay, you do have that. Yep. Not really threatening this because this is pinned, but after this, then yes, you do have that. Although when you do castle, you're just exposing your king. Yeah. Good move on black's part, using the board geometry to come around and get that pawn back. I mean, is it better than this? Okay, so this way you get your bishop, they get your bishop. Might be worth it to trade down, but this forces a queen trade. And you have a centralized bishop, and you're up. Is it just one pawn you'll be up at the end of that? Okay, let's see here. So bishop and bishop for bishop and knight. One pawn up. So all of those exchanges got one pawn for black. So white probably feels fairly attacked. They had an opportunity to win a piece and have an instant win, but unfortunately took the wrong way. Never try to use your queen as the last resort in these sorts of things. Also, if you're going to play an opening like the Vienna or something, it's a good idea to have a concept of what the goal, like what the purpose is in the opening. There's usually like a single square or two squares that you're trying to control in the opening. Know what they are. Just look them up, find it out, figure it out. Okay, yeah, knight, bishop, bishop. Okay, so we have this trade here. It's going to come down. Just trading down pieces. I mean, if black trades down to the very end, they should, with proper play, be winning with a 3-on-2. Okay. However, white does have a bishop, and in an endgame, a bishop is much more useful because it takes a knight forever to cross the board, where a bishop, it really doesn't. So, like, pressure can be put on like this, like, you can do all sorts of things. Okay, that move does not do anything for you. Like, it is protecting your back rank quite nicely from here, and also keeping an eye on this pawn. So if ever you need to, you can do this, and then all of these pawns will stay safe. Your king is safe. You are not really putting pressure here because this has two defenders and probably will for ever and ever and ever. Amen. Personally, this would have, so I'm saying do this. Black is probably going to be forced to do something like this, and now you have weaknesses, right? Like, now you could do something else. Like, if you did ever end up back here and over here, you're starting to pin some things. Yeah. So then you can, I don't know, do this, force this guy out somewhere, do this, don't blunder a fork, you know, things like that. Anyway, we're here. Okay, so can't go here, here. You can go here, 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 here is a no-no, and there's a no-no. Well, I mean, you could go here. It would actually help black reposition their rook next to this pawn. So this, this, this. This is advantageous for black. You see this. Now you just go on a little just expedition, right? Like, start doing stuff like this. Then what, right? Like, can't do this or this. Can't do this or this, right? So not the worst plan. Okay. Yeah. I don't even remember that pawn moving forward. Oh, must have been right after that rook moved there. They thought that they needed to defend it, especially if they wanted to move their rook away. So that's sort of a telling sign that they want to bring the rook to the middle. Okay, that's where you should have gone a move or so ago. I mean, okay. So white is probably thinking here, 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 which is too many moves in a row. Like, black can literally just stop that very, 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 very quickly. Like, they'll see that come. Like, they can do one move, stop that attack. So don't plan for a move, for an attack like that. Plan for an attack like this, where this is eventually gonna have to move. Say you do this, and then move there. So, okay, well, black does something. Okay, so say some black had done something like this. You can do that. And now say they make another random move. Got this, right? Now when this moves back here, you've got this. Take with the bishop, because first of all the king can't move, and I don't know, say they want to do something. I mean, you're giving up a piece there, but I don't know, just, right, like, and then come back and pin, that sort of stuff. That sort of stuff can happen. Where were we? Okay. Yeah, see, white's trying to, they're telegraphing the maneuver, and there's the response I was looking at. See, why are you here now? This is defended. What are you gonna do on that pawn? You're gonna just throw a rook at it? Okay, so threat now is this and checkmate. Well, not well defended by the bishop, but starting to look at lines like that where you can back rank if you can block off that square. Potentially you could just do this. Aim for that. Yeah, what are you doing? Why? Why? What does that gain you? You just lost a rook. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Here, do this. Well, no, you can't. So do this, then do that. Let him sack, then just checkmate him. You're just giving up your other rook? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You don't just throw rooks at random pieces. Now you're down. You have no rooks. If you're down pieces, don't throw them all away. Don't just give them up to your opponent. Like, if you're down, hold on to them and just try and, like, play ring around the rosy until you can bait one of their pieces into a bad position. Oh, no. Oh. There's such a... Oh. Why? What? What is all of this? Okay, so why do you not take the rook? Maybe it's just, maybe you're big braining it and you just don't want to double your pawns. But like, it is a lot harder to bring a knight around to win a game. Like it's still a fairly easy win, but like it is very easy with a rook. It is like dead simple to just win a game just up a rook. So if you take this, I mean, you're not going to promote that pawn, first of all. That's going nowhere. Take the rook. Like, if you were to take everything off the board, all these pawns, and this rook, and you just have the kings, and this knight, and that king, it is a draw. There's no way, even if white was trying to help you, there's no way to cause a checkmate. So, that would be optimal. That's what you're going for now. You're aiming for a draw because you threw your rooks at him, and I don't really understand why. Okay, trade. You just got a promoting pawn now. Yeah. So, I mean, your best bet is to try and stop this pawn. I mean, you're not going to be able to with this rook very easily. You might, like, if you can get it so that... I mean, it's gonna have to, yeah, there's no good way. Like, these pawns are not gonna make it down. Yeah, so now you move. Why do you move now? So you see this, you're like, let me stop the queen. You can't stop the queen now. There's actually a little box, they say, from here. If you can step into the box, then you can stop that pawn from promoting. When it is here, that is too far. So this move is just a waste of a turn. You could have done whatever your plan was here and just hope black gave you the option to win. Like that. However, they didn't. Okay. This is when you can start looking for drawing chances. You have one square for your king. If you could just not move anything, that would be excellent. So, for example, say you did this. They're like, I don't know. You know, like, you could maybe force a draw somehow. Like, this would be a draw. Right? Gotta keep an eye out for that. But no, we have this. And a checkmate. Okay. White, you and I need to have a little talk. Two things we need to talk about here. This will improve your chess game dramatically. Okay? We're gonna go big screen. No, we're not, because I need to show you what's going on here. So, first off, this is okay. I mean, you left black too much control in the middle. Let him get too active. This pawn push, good. Like it. This was your opportunity to win. Sometimes they only come once or twice in the game. And sometimes, honestly, this is the difference between, like, hundreds of rating points. Is just, like, I play people well below my level. They play a great game of chess. And I just wait around for them to make a mistake. They play great, they play great, they play great, they play great, they make one mistake, and then I beat them. That's what happens. So this was the mistake that you could have taken advantage of. This was not the right way to go. This is the right way to go. I mean, yes, this is gonna be a concern. Right? But hopefully we'll be able to figure out a way out of this. Right? Like, Number one. Okay. Number two. Don't try and just big brain it and do like a 12 move plan to get into a checkmate. They're gonna see it coming. You're just telegraphing. It's like a boxer going, I am going to punch you with this arm in 3 seconds. And then you expect that the person's still gonna be standing there in 3 seconds. No. It's gotta be a surprise. Gotta hit double threats. Things like that, right? Like, this is a lovely little pin. Like, this is where you just come here and go there. Finally, the really big thing is, I don't know what this is. You have 3 minutes. 3 minutes on the clock and 9 minutes on white's clock. Good grief, you've used 6 minutes. How long did you spend? You didn't even spend. Your time went up. Your time went up by 8 seconds. You probably spent about 2 seconds thinking about this, whether that was dangerous or good for you or not. It was bad. Don't, like, you got fixated on your attack. You said it's gonna work no matter what. It is certainly not gonna work, because you probably thought, oh, you know what? That square is blocked. Once I come in, trade and come in, oh no, these squares will be blocked. It'll be checkmate. It will not, because this pawn will be out of the way. That's the only concession I'll give you here. And then, when you are in a position like this, where you have one rook and a bishop, you basically need to just hang on to them for dear life. Try and pick off as many pieces of theirs as you can. Don't trade them for no matter what. That is a trade. And then take the rook. Like, do you see how much harder it is to stop this pawn? Like, if this were a knight over here, this king would just be able to, like, dawdle over and stop the pawn from promoting. Anyway, overall, there were some really good components to this game. Played well by both sides, but certainly some areas for improvement. As always, I'm going to send this this analysis to these players, and hopefully they find something useful out of it. They can feel free to message me, and also feel free to send me more games, and I'll give you like more tips. Give me specific questions. Follow me on YouTube, subscribe, follow me on Twitch. Have a great night, guys.